Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. Not on Samoa this time. Yes, indeed, I've actually managed to get myself a match on Langres. Yes, indeed, Langres. We shall be watching WingedKat fighting for the 4th Armored Division, taking on that devious person, ImperialDane. Yes, indeed, fighting for the Wehrmacht, fighting for the 17th SS Panzergrenadiers Division Götz von Berlichingen. With the two pioneers start focusing on the west. At least initially, the Wehrmacht quarters going up. Barracks going up for WingedKat. Only a 2-engineer start from the Cat that apparently flies. Otherwise, it would be a bit odd if it had wings. Volksgrenadiers out as the first unit. I do prefer my Volksgrenadiers out first. Some prefer spikes, some prefer an MG, but personally, I like some infantry out. Points are being secured right there. Note though, my second pioneer squad does not begin, securing points, but actually begins wiring off this area, thus ensuring this high munitions point. Though apparently in this case I made a slight mistake, a bit too much about why, so now they're dragging it through the hedgerows. How rude by me. But otherwise, I wire off this area, then that means this is going to be a bit more difficult to harass. In some cases I won't even bother at all, which tends to be to my advantage. Nonetheless, that means, of course, this high munitions is secured for now. Rifle now heading down here. Volksgrenadiers moving up. They're going down with a wire. Although Rifle spotted and quickly veered off. They do not charge in. They do realize this might be a bit of a risky maneuver. I quickly pull to the side. Of course, wrote that he might charge in, but no, instead, WingedKat quickly pulls back, and I immediately begin just securing this point, just in case. Could prove to be to my advantage. There we go. High munitions being secured. Victory points ignored for now. Schwimmwagen on the way, and there we go. Fresh wire down just in case, but no, he's in fact just heading eastwards towards this high fuel point. While another unit immediately begins securing this strategic point, thus connecting the rest here. Also note, he in fact does not continue down towards there, thus giving me the west for a bit longer. But there we go, the Schwimmwagen is out. Light reconnaissance vehicle, wires done there, and now of course I did spot on the minimap that something's going on there. Just peeking out in the fog of war, heading towards the house, but so is he, who will get there first. And even though my Volksgrenadiers actually happen to get there first, apparently he gets first right. I mean, come on, Jürgen, I know you're trying to be nice, but that's the enemy. So this rather ends up a bit poorly for me, rather than moving in. Volksgrenadiers getting a bit pushed back. One man down. And for some reason, I thought I had ordered training of a unit, but for some reason that's not happening. So instead, that's actually a bit delayed, which is actually a bit of a problem. There we go. The unit is on the way, but that definitely did harm me in the right moment. And I'm a bit annoyed. Not entirely sure how that happened, but it can happen. Going there, and we sort of see the same here. He's ordered them to the point, but not quite actually taking the point. And of course, I suppose that's where the system in Company is too weird. Just need to stand by the point can actually also help fix that just a bit. Although in another sense, it might make it a bit difficult to sort of queue up orders, but of course you can still directly take it. Pioneers are ready with this munitions, moving up to repair the Schwimmwagen. Another squad ready, MG42 on the way, sort of taking up positions. He's still holding this house again, sort of preventing anyone from moving about, at least without him knowing. We are seeing more forces moving in there, Pioneers moving in to try and protect the fuel. In fact, most of the fuel is largely his, which is not really to my advantage. But pushing up there against the riflemen. Volksgrenadiers following up, surging forwards, trying to at least secure the center a bit. And this looks like it's about to fall. The Pioneers getting run off by riflemen. But while he's done, just in case he decides to move through here and secure this right there, he can't. So that could give me a small advantage. MG42 ready. Of course, we do realize there's a small penetration here, and thus quickly send the MG42 there, sort of protect against the Americans. And he's in fact going for the high munitions. Interesting enough, he did not go and try to cut through here, which is interesting. Of course, I realize what's going on and quickly shift, also wiring down here so he can't move through here. Again, it's all about limiting the movement of your opponents as much as possible. Mine down there, which is nice, just in case it, of course, moves through here. Of course, if he decides to move there, has to retreat. It, of course, means he'll be setting off the mine, which is less to my advantage, since, of course, it'll do a lot less than if you walk through it. But there we go, one man down to about half health. Situation is secured, and I swiftly refocus everything right here towards these to sort of push through up here. Another Volksgrenadier squad on the way. Pioneers could do with a bit of reinforcement. Schwimmwagen helping a bit. And also note he's in fact setting up for a pretty hard flanking assault. As I'm pushing forward here, he's hiding all of his units down there. Definitely not to my advantage. There we go, Browning automatics do appear. And of course, this is not quite to my advantage. There we go, the engineers completely pulling up behind here. Volkswagen is caught out in the open by the Browning automatics, taking heavy damage. And there we go, cutting through there, rifleman through there. This is a completely lost course. Definitely not how I'd like it. And quickly, of course, I realized what's going on and quickly set up another MG42 on the way to aid the firepower, of course, trying to protect against such flanks. And meanwhile, the small force is basically left to contain the Americans from doing too much damage as they're moving in towards my territory. Schwimmwagen holding back, firing away, perhaps even cutting down a few engineers in the process. There we go, the first MT-40, second one is ready. Oh, the troops reinforcing and setting up there to provide a bit of cover for the Volkswagen caught out in the field, hiding in the bushes. Other MG-42 setting up to flank from there. And there we go, riflemen getting cut down like stalks of corn. And there we go, further losses. Schwimmwagen moving up to deal with the engineers. They're all heavily damaged. And there we go, riflemen moving up. Caught in the middle of the road, though. They easily take a lot of damage. I mean, again, units in negative cover take more damage, and they are easier to hit. And there we go. I mean, 4 riflemen gone in a split second. There we go. That's opening up for a counterattack from me. For, of course, he's going to be up for some time with all of those units reinforcing. Schwimmwagen, though, of course, is going to need a few repairs, but nonetheless managed to hold most of my territory, though, of course, at the same time he's been holding most of the fuel, and of course is now already on with the supply yard. Riflemen holding out there, MG-42's advancing, troops here getting slightly suppressed, but not quite. And of course, skirmish phase hopefully up. Of course, I will need the Kriegberg soon, otherwise, of course, we'll have some advantage with the armored cars. No doctrines yet. Rifleman down. Falling down in between the bushes. Another one goes down.
Yes, comrade.
No mines as of yet, though. Except right here, interesting enough, WingedKat, but nothing right here, you know, perhaps in the more sort of suspected line of advantage. Of course, that's because he basically just pushed through everything there, instead of perhaps leaving a few more units to sort of try and contain my advantage, you know, in case something went wrong. I mean, why even send in the chaps with the minesweepers? In fact, he might even have lost them, which is definitely not to his advantage. And motor pool, though, of course, is on the way. Trying to secure the fuel there, and of course basically just trying to push forwards as swiftly as possible, trying to cut off resources, of course also deny him population. That, I mean, can be just as important if you can sort of cut off him from producing any units right away. Volkswagen here getting caught up in a smaller skirmish.
Forces are ready for assault.
They're pushing up here, wiring off this area again. Pioneers pushing forward again, have not built a Kriegbergs. This is definitely a foolish move by me. Should have had it up much earlier. I mean, either if you're going for a motor pool or a tank depot, doesn't matter. Without a Kriegbergs, I'm pretty much buggered. So again, not really the best of movements by me. And again, we're setting up another flanking assault, but this time around, MG-42s are protecting the flanks. And there we go. Point cut off here. He's barely got any resources, but he embarks on harassment of his own. Jolly good job there by WingedKat. And there we go, cut off is mine, which basically means that he has 3 points left, although now he does have the armored car, and I don't have a finished Kriegbergs again. Absolutely horrific by me. Not what should be repeated at any cost. Flamethrower engineers are charging in again. The only engineer squad he has left, by the way. Suffering a few losses rather than pushing in. Volkswagen will need to get out of there very soon, and there we go, on the run. From those nasty Yankee gangsters. Armored car pushing in.
The enemy advances. Where do you want us?
And the MG-42 right here realizing this is beyond its pay grade and gets the devil out of there. But of course now this is pretty much a compromised position. Rifle moving in, armored car moving in with a 50 caliber on top, and I basically only got Panzerfaust and not even enough to really do any lasting harm. So basically trying to contain things as much as possible before making a run for it. And sadly I've not been able to get down any mines in the process. But of course now realizing, of course, there is an armored car moving in, I quickly set about mining these points right here. just in case he decides to rush my base. Schwimmwagen heavily damaged. Blitzkrieg up. Assault grenades, in fact, chosen. I love that ability. And there we go. But he managed to retreat before they really do a lot of damage. In fact, ending up stunning my own troops. I do get a few riflemen.
We're losing territory.
Of course, now there's the problem. Of course, there's still an armored car on the loose. And now I do have one pack. So that's a slightly more promising position. Quickly sets about salvaging the Schwimmwagen. Not because necessarily can contain a lot of munitions, but of course because the parts represent stuff that could, you know, be worth munitions from high command. And again, these are basically just sort of representative of, you know, requisition. I mean, this is not direct manpower, this is not direct munitions from it, this is not direct fuel, this is just fuel requisition and munitions requisition. Sort of a more abstract resource. So of course you're not directly going about picking up fuel or anything like that. But armored car moving in, folks, going up there, of course, trying to do my own reconnaissance through buildings. Armored car, though, quickly makes this a less than happy thing, and thus results in a retreat. Second pack up, I want, of course, because this sort of way this map is built up, of course, he could easily end up attacking me another spot. Of course, I'll quickly have to move away the pack, which is not really good on this map, so instead, I resort to getting a second pack. Of course, at the same time, also getting a medic bunker to help with attrition and casualties. But of course, going for the victory point right there, MG-42 sent away, and of course with 2, I can of course still leave 1 here to sort of protect here. Armored car advancing slowly. Front is wondering if they should go for the harassment point, the cut-off point. A bit lacking in territory though from my side. Trias end up, that's actually a bit late. And there we go, the pack hits the side of the Greyhound. 17th SS so far doing alright. Granted, again, not the most well-trained of Panzergrenadier divisions. Did not have a lot of time to actually pull that off. They were a bit lacking in time. And trucks. In fact, they lacked something like 1,000 trucks or something in that one they were supposed to have. Which also, of course, says something about how many trucks was actually needed to sort of motorize a Panzergrenadier division. Otherwise, they largely got what they needed. In fact, they even got a few Panzer forces, sort of command tanks for their Panzer Abteilung, which of course was actually equipped with assault guns, but apparently that still merited a few command Panzer force, which they actually got sometime in August, apparently. Again, that's the sort of stuff you only learn through deeper research. Rather than pushing up here, rather than getting stopped here, that's nice. Of course, the Meg's already beginning pulling in the wounded. Advancing up here, Volkswagen's caught up front of the barn, not able to get in. Rival here definitely not having the happiest of jobs. In fact, getting gunned down. And also note, he's actually gone for armor doctrine. Mines there, one goes off. In fact, because that's an American mine. Hooray. But again, he's gone for armor, and he's in fact gone for the left-hand side. So this is actually a player going for the Pershing and not the Calliope. This is definitely a bit rarer. Mine goes off there, though, killing one chap, leaving the rest wounded. Armor car again pulls up. Some grenadiers actually trained. Pack, of course, worrying a bit where to aim. And the grenadiers advancing in are quick targets, suffering out in the open, or they actually managed to drop one rifleman. Of course, Pack will need to move up. Another grenadier closer down, and there we go. 2 down shortly, but a grenade gets 3 riflemen, leaving only poor Larry left. Light engagement up here. Small standoff, in fact.
Where we headed? The men are filled up, sir.
And there we go, going for the fuel point. The rifleman moving up, not quite ready to charge into the photographs, perhaps fearing the blitz, but at the same time, I'd rather see the potential to move up my MG-42 right here, and of course actually fire down right here on the flank of the rifleman, doing quite a bit of damage there. Troops stopped over there by the MG-42, suppressed. In fact, they moved too far, and the other pack actually moving up here, rather perhaps figuring this is slightly more vulnerable. Well, not likely to be hit anytime soon. And there we go, another hit on the pack. Rifleman here, not in a happy position, down to 3 men, suppressed, bleeding, screaming. And there we go, down to 2 before being fully retreated. And again, going for the cutoff point. Lots of harassment going on from my side. Again, he's, interesting enough, he's got a ton of munitions, but he's not really bothering with any mines in particular, not here. I mean, that would really make the most sense that he actually got one there. In fact, he's now also got a weapon support center and a sniper out. Further engagement going on here. Grenadiers now pushing on. Mining going on. In fact, I pulled back here. Why am I pulling back, you might ask? Because, again, I'm actually worrying that might come a counterattack. And, of course, I can't quite fully defend this. So instead, I pull back to positions I can much easily defend if he pulls through. And, of course, now I realise, of course, there's a sniper bound, although he's already quite damaged from the Volksgrenadiers firing at him. And there we go. 2 killed so far. Slight moving about of positions. Mines there, mines there. And again, arriving up in the house. WingedKat definitely likes some reconnaissance that way, some scouting. Securing the fuel point again. Still no mines there. In fact, not a lot of mines overall, not even a Greyhound mine, which could do wonders. And again, all this lack of mines, of course, makes it much easier for me to actually push forwards. Now he's actually mining there, of all the places. How weird. And there we go, Greyhound destroyed engine, which rather stops him perhaps from cutting the wire. Nope. Grenadiers moving in, rushing in to, of course, try and deal with this. Pack rushing in. If I can get this, of course, this means the end of a nuisance. Engineers is suffering a bit with Grenadiers. MG42 manages to fire back from the back of the house. And there we go, field repairs up, thus alerting me to what's going on. He's scoring armor, I see. And I also notice he's going for the left-hand side. This, of course, also means he's going for the Pershing. At the same time, of course, I'm going for the Sturm Army. In fact, I just finished it, which rather makes me realise I'm a bit in trouble. Grenadiers barely make it out of there. Heavy losses, veterans one for the armor car, increasing speed. And so Yankees keep pushing in. There we go, another nice hit, but still the armored car is operating functionally, somewhat. 3 kills for the sniper. Armor on the way from the Sturm Armory, a Sturmgeschütz. And again, now figuring, okay, he's all bunched up right here on the sides. Of course, he's occupied with his flank, so what do? Or my flanks, more specifically. I go for the center, which, of course, he's left completely unguarded. And again, with all these riflemen, of course, he would have benefited a bit from a medic station. I think that's not happened. On the other hand, I have a medic bunker, and one, I would like to argue, is rather nicely placed. It's close to the front line, but at the same time, it's not something you can actually easily hit. I mean, most players would have placed it out here, but of course, that means, you know, something like a anti-tank and could wreck it. To sort of knock this out, you're actually going to need a much larger effort. Armored car ready again, rifleman hold up there. And there we go, the Sturmgeschütz is ready. Rifleman up to hit the flank of the MG42. Of course, there's a Stuk arriving on said flank. Infantry moving in. Armored car moving in as well. MG42 pulling back. Schnell. Rückzug. And there we go, the rifleman actually getting caught in the middle of everything. Right in front of the Stuk, which misses though. Brilliantly. More wounded for the medic bunker. Rifleman still contained in there, armored car moving up. Pack can't quite hit. Much to my distress. Of course, keeping the Allies right here at bay. Using the assault gun. Grenadiers perhaps hoping to get close, but instead I lose the nerve and quickly retreat them. And there we go, armored car charging in, blasting through the riflemen. Sticky bombs at the same time ready. Sniper in the middle of everything, has to be careful. Moving in, trying to get the armored car with the Panzerfaust. I want that armored car gone, and there we go. Gunner killed, but again, field repairs up. Saves the armored car from a fate worse than capture, I suppose. And there we go, Grenadiers actually popping out from the medic bunker. Again, the medic bunker proving to be a nice thing there. Rifleman suffering gravely. Quite severely, in fact. Even get off a sticky bomb, damaging the engine, but overall casualties turn out to be heavy. And we have, in fact, already seen both supply upgrades up. This is good, this is great. This definitely helps him in the longer run as well. If he could only bother with the medic station or some mines. But again, now he's just spent so much, basically just on field repairs for that one armored car. In fact, he's been spending 300 munitions on that one armored car. I think that might be a bit over the top. Of course, I might be wrong. Anti-tank gun ready, though. Greyhound quickly pushing in. Sniper hiding. He's biding his time. Waiting for the right moment to strike like a patient hunter, which is definitely a good move by WingedKat. Grenadiers spotting the BAR, quickly pick it up and make a run for it, but not, of course, before cutting off the resources right here. Armor car will need some repairs. Anti-tank gun pushing forwards. And lining up the infantry right there for a nice assault. A few Panzergrenadiers and BARs. And the Stuke trying to get out of there, but not really having much luck. In fact, getting a bit hit by that anti-tank gun. Oh dear. And so the Stuke is heavily damaged. Armor car moves up and takes a few hits. Of course, quickly moves past the anti-tank gun with barely any damage. And of course I hit the mine here, suffering quite a bit. And of course I don't realise what's going on. In fact, I am probably going to end up losing that Volkswagen squad because I'm suddenly all too occupied with the anti-tank gun, armor car there. But pushing on nonetheless. Again, completely forgetting what's going on here. So much going on. WingedKat pushing on all fronts, and I'm basically paying attention too much. Thus meaning, of course, I lose control of the situation. Briefly, which is definitely not good. Assault grenades stopping these clumped up assault force there. Grenadiers providing support for the armored car. Engineers going down. Riflemen, in fact, also suffering heavily, in fact, extremely heavily. Down to 3 men all of a sudden. More assault grenades right there. Engineer squad running off. Down to 1 rifleman who gets off the sticky bomb. Veterans 2, in fact. Stu out. But the rifleman die. In fact, there's a Browning automatic left behind. And again, advancing up here. In fact, I'd forgotten all about that. Again, I probably lost the Volkswagen squad there in the process. I suspect I did. Strategic point, there we go. Anti-tank and firing away. Stu 42 too far ahead. I basically spread myself a bit too thin, and I'll probably lose that Stu 42 in the process. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Grenadiers with 2 BRs, that would be a huge loss. Even a Kampfkraft sends up, but I'm definitely a bit too preoccupied with everything else to use it. I definitely probably should have gotten it up earlier, but nonetheless, cut-off point here again secured, but does not stop what I'm worried about, the Pershing, which I do not really have the full assets to stop. I only got 1 anti-tank and then a few Panzergrenadiers. Though I'm actually rather close to getting that barracks. And pull back once more. Assault gun getting repaired. The Sturmhaubitze. Still holding most of the map for now. Grenadiers not fully reinforced, but still got about the same amount of BARs as a rifleman squad. Pershing Cork gets a nice hit on the MG42 crew, but of course at the same time, of course, I realise there's a slight problem. And the shape of a Pershing. Another Grenadier squad reformed. In fact, I'm up to 4 Grenadier squads now. I think I might only train 1 or 2, definitely not 4. The Grenadiers section pulls back quickly. The other Grenadiers push forward. Sniper still not spotted. He's a rather ballsy one. Of course, I'm trying to reach the pack to perhaps get off a few hits on that Pershing. I mean, with 2 packs I could stop it. I would need 2. And Grenadiers quickly blasted to bits. Veterans 1 already for the Pershing. Stu 42 rolling out. No veterans for that. Anti-tank gun forwards again. Already veterans 1, by the way. Though I do definitely have the infantry advantage over WingedKat. He does, on the other hand, have the armor advantage. In that he's actually got a Pershing. I've only got the Stu. Of course, question is, will he be able to leverage that advantage properly? And of course, ensure I can't advance too far ahead. Stu lost. Tragic. And is advancing with Panzergrenadiers. I'm trying to push it back from the anti-tank gun. Instead, I lose a Grenadier squad in the process without really doing any damage, which was pretty much the opposite of what was hoped for. But such is the thing with risks. You have to take them, and sometimes they do not work off. at least we're not used to advantage. Mine still there. Again, 2 Grenadiers more down to the Pershing. Already 16 kills to that beast. And Veteran T2. In fact, that's quite impressive. And a bit unpleasant. But there we go. Pack is clear, at least temporarily. Quickly rush in some Pioneers. Cloak it. And there we go. The Pershing actually charges forward, which actually means it's going to be exposed to both of my packs. Which is exactly what I was hoping for. Which rather means the Pershing is actually taking a lot of damage. Now Engineers trying to clear out the pack. They manage, or perhaps the Pershing does. Pioneer crew dead. Grenadiers. No, Volkswagen is actually pushing up here. But of course at the same time he's occupied here, thus allowing the Volkswagen with the Blitz assault to actually clear up the squad there. In fact, being behind the BAR. MG covers from the hedgerows, protecting some mighty Volkswagen, quickly suppressing the riflemen. Not too hilarious right there. Rifleman down, blasted in fact by the pack, now recruit again. In fact, using my last Pioneer squad, that was perhaps less good. But there we go, the Grenadiers with 2 BARs pushed forward. And closing in on a Tiger tank, realizing of course I'm again saving up resources for that ever slowly. Though not enough to of course jeopardize my forces, but enough perhaps to give me the slight advantage. And there we go, in fact his Pershing force rather inoperable due to the heavy damage. He's not, I think, even repaired his armored car. And he's been too preoccupied, of course, keeping up the pressure on me that he actually allows me to counterattack with my still considerably larger infantry force. And his riflemen, in fact, get pushed back. I believe he's, in fact, down to 2 squads of riflemen. And the Grenadiers here with the 2 BARs are tragically lost. No, wait, no one makes it out of there, but a BAR is dropped.
Sector point is ours.
And the medics are, as usual, quite busy. Counter-assault in the name of the fatherland. Blitz grenades right on the riflemen as they advance. Stunning and damaging. Even killing. And there we go again. The lack of a medic station is hurting WingedKat, who ends up suffering rather some severe infantry losses in the process. And certainly his ambitions are high, but he's having a bit of trouble actually maintaining these ambitions. Sort of more directly. And there we go, Tiger tank ready, of course, against the Veteran T2 Pershing, and I'm having no Veteran T for my Tiger. Of course, the Pershing will have a direct advantage, but if I can keep it support with anti-tank guns, perhaps a few Panzer X, I should have the advantage. But of course, if the Tiger ends up on his own, it's pretty much buggered.
The point is ours. We've got to hold on for the fatherland.
And there we go, the Tiger rolls out. Riflemen head east. Pack recruit again. MG's still there, in fact. Victory point secured. Armor cannon as well getting repaired. That is good, Mr. WingedKat. And there we go. The Tiger is ready. Been a bit of a desperate fight, though. With a lot of close moments, but there we go. Pack wants moments up in the Pershing. Of course, he has to move it forward, but at the same time, he can't risk much with it before he's pulling back. And again, that's rather what happened again with these 2 packs. They basically just crippled his armor, and he doesn't have enough engineers to swiftly repair it. So, of course, in that way, he's actually further hampering himself. Volkswagen is doing what they can. Small engagements left and right. Lots of blitzkrieg assault. Again, basically using it when he's sort of having to pay attention on several fronts. Which of course also means he can't do that. Somewhere it has to slip. Which of course means I get the most out of those 50 munitions. And Tiger at the same time dealing with the riflemen inside the house. Looks like they might even clear it out. Greyhound though managed to contain the situation on here by the center of victory point. Rifleman squad inside the house, blasted to bits, which of course means he's down to 1 squad of riflemen, I think. Perhaps 2.
The Americans are capturing a sector.
Of course, that's a bit the problem for WingedKat.
The enemy has 300 points.
Well, one of the problems that sort of keeps haunting him in the longer run again, of course, I think he can actually take points now with his vehicles. In fact, he's moving in to sort of contain the victory point, but mine destroys the engine. Will this be the end of the pesky Greyhound, or will it escape once more to be a nuisance again? Veterans, you finally on the way for my armor. Having finally got some breathing space.
Gassed up and good to go. Rifle squad deployed.
Riflemen moving in, but they are not really in a condition to fight. We are seeing some grenadiers pull up to support the Volkswagen veterans we want for my units, by the way. My infantry. Riflemen getting caught in the middle of everything. There we go. Pineapple grenade, actually. Pineapple surprise. Kills one Volkswagen grenadier, but in the process again, they take some nasty losses. And another squad down. That probably were the ones retreating right there. Riflemen advancing. Right in front of the Tiger. And the grenadiers and all the other nasty things. And he's actually got a tank up. He's getting Hellcats. Great. But at the same time, he might also want something to deal with the infantry. I mean, I've got a ton of infantry. He might want to consider actually getting, say, something like a Sherman. But there we go. Armored car out of control. Engineers rushing into the house. Apparently Blitzkrieg actually still counts if they run into the house, but as soon as they actually exit, it cancels. Fun fact. And there we go, cancels, but the engineers still suffered heavily. In fact, he might lose it. Nope, they actually escape. Slowly advancing up here on the right flank. Pershing being quickly rushed from hotspot to hotspot, barely repaired. 26 kills. Of course, realizing what's going on there, quickly rushed the Tiger over that. At the same time, more veterans are on the way for my armor. And the Grenadiers, facing the Pershing, also decide to leg it. Of course, at this stage, I'm definitely feeling a lot more confident. I'm pressing onwards. Though, of course, at the same time, I also know that if I make one wrong move, I could easily end up losing everything again. And at the same time, of course, we are seeing several Hellcats being sort of hamstered together. Still no Sherman. I would like to see a Sherman. And there we go. He's actually moving in to deal with the medic bunker, which is definitely not a bad idea. But of course, the question is, will his Pershing have the time to do so? In fact, he's quickly pulling back, realizing there's a Tiger on the way. Fighting next to the Hellcat, and the crew does nothing to save its comrades. I suppose it wouldn't be able to do much. But there we go, the Tiger sets in, the hunt is on. Lots of harassment still going on, trying partly against with the victory points. Barely any units left. Barracks still standing for now. Hack moving up to support.
Cut forward supply lines.
And there we go. Taking hits. Moving into support. Might want to take that point. Pershing almost down. Of course, wanting to keep my Pershings, my Tiger secured. Might also want to actually advance this MD-42. And there we go, Rifleman flanking in. Pincer maneuvering, going for the pack perhaps. And here suffering a bit, trying to clear out the infantry. Hellcats arriving. Rifleman here stopped though. There we go, Sticky Bomb. Grenades on the Rifleman return. Damaged engine and a second Hellcat moving in. This could end up badly for the Tiger. And I was actually sending in the Pershing to help. Which of course with his increased penetration could work. Grenadiers need to retreat. Rückzug. Trying to get this sort of something with the Tiger, but sadly I fail and the Tiger is lost. Of course, there's still plenty of Grenadiers and plenty of Panzergrenadiers to lead the charge, which makes up for things.
Tiger destroyed.
So there we go. Sadly, the Tiger got wrecked. And he actually managed to get veterancy free for his M26 Pershing. Might have been that actually got the killing hits. Of course, that will actually be a direct threat to a Veterancy 3 Tiger even, because it will actually be able to do a lot more damage and have a much better chance of penetrating the Tiger than the Tiger has of penetrating the Pershing. And 18 Hellcat moving up the flank. Barracks goes down. Hellcat goes down. The packs are just killing. Of course, now he just needs that Pershing repaired no matter the cost. Get some field repairs up, I would suggest. Main gun destroyed. Rifleman still rushing in. WingedKat is fighting like a cornered beast. Striking out. Rifleman hold up.
Pershing lost enemy action. Pershing lost.
And there we go. He actually sent in the Pershing without repairing it, thus resulting in a Pershing lost pretty quickly, which is a bit tragic.
Enemy unit down.
Since again, had he been able to sort of conserve it and get it repaired, he could have sent it in and that might actually have worked. Instead, he's just getting absolutely desperate and just pushing in everything. Which, as you might notice, is not quite working out for him. And German infantry keeps moving about. Veterancy 2 engineers, that's actually quite impressive. And the Grenadiers, perhaps not quite as impressed, retreat. A desperate fight for survival for the 4th Armoured. Fulton trying to drive out the engineers. Engineer squad down. Possibly saving up for a Pershing.
Calliope standing by for deployment.
Engineers dying. Still fighting for the victory points. And another blitzkrieg assault. Veterancy 3 riflemen though pushing in. They are quite nasty. Getting off a grenade against the Grenadiers and sending them off. Those unfortunately arrive to try and finish it off as well. Plus another Grenadier squad fighting from nearby. No LMGs though. Spending too much munitions, I fear, on the blitzkrieg assaults. The blitz assault was ever. And another stout force moves out. I suspect at this stage you've actually got about 5 Grenadier squads. Which again says something about the might of the medic bunker again if placed well. And it's basically the reason I probably end up winning this game, as you sort of might be noticing at this stage. He's down to 2 rifleman squads and an engineer squad. Pershing called in, but at the same time, or in fact just before, a Tiger arrives, veterancy 3. And that, on the other hand, the Royal Pershing will have a lot more trouble dealing with. In fact, WingedKat's force of Royal will have a lot of trouble with this, of course, since it's barely got anything left. MG's firing away, keeping whatever infantry is left suppressed. Packs blasting as well. Tiger rolls out. Veterancy 3 rifleman squad moving in, perhaps hoping to do some damage. Down to 1 man, Lenny, fighting for the cause of the United States. And the Grenadiers caught. Pershing misses, but the Grenadiers quickly rush into the building to get a better vantage point against the Pershing. And blitzkrieg assault goes off, but the Tiger can't move because of 1 rifleman retreating, and they can't squish retreating riflemen. Of course, in some ways great, but of course also means my blitzkrieg didn't quite wear off. But also note right here, the pack actually sprints, even while cloaked. And there we go. Pershing suddenly taking a lot of damage. Pack firing away also rather swiftly. And that's just daft, to be honest.
Point under siege. The Germans are moving.
Pershing down. Riflemen advancing. And the engineers, for that matter, grenade goes off. Will it clear up the MG? Yes. That will be enough.
We're down to
Chaos
enemy
abound.
unit down.
Had not noticed I actually taking down the Pershings of the Tiger rolls in to finish off the job. And again pushing forwards with quite the infantry force. In fact, I retained most of my false gunners except for that one squad which got, well, neglected. We're actually trolling about quite some bits. Wouldn't say that. I mean, you definitely made some mistakes, but we all do. Of course, what sort of mistakes were made by Mr. WingedKat? I mean, the problems were sort of basically, a lack of mines to sort of prevent me from advancing too quickly without suffering. That definitely did not help him. A lack of medic station. I think had he had one, properly placed, he could also have benefited from that in the longer run. And I also think some of his engagements were perhaps less than great. And he basically at the stage when he got the Pershing, he didn't have enough to support it. I mean, heavy armor really works best when there's something to support it. Without it, it tends to get a little less strong. And of course, initially when he had it, he did have something, but then he sort of lost things slowly. And then the two packs basically meant the Pershing was out of the fight for quite some time, which gave me the time, of course, to push forward thanks to the medic bunker. Again, the medic bunker well placed here, of course. I mean, had it been forward here, it might have been knocked out by the Pershing, all the anti-tank guns there. It was much more hard for him to deal with, which actually gave me a considerable advantage. So again, knowing where to place your medic bunkers matters a lot. Should definitely have improved on the veterancy. There was definitely also some hiccups from me in the beginning, getting out my troops in the right order. Definitely not good. I could also have benefited more from mines, but overall, though, I mean, I managed to do a lot of damage from every time he attacked and pushed me back, so that gave me some time to recover and, counterattack swiftly, because again, he didn't do anything to stop it. Not really no mines, but why anything to sort of hinder my movement, which again is really to my advantage. So there you go, a war of attrition that in the end ended up in my favor. So there you go. Do hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends, and if you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own. This is ImperialDane saying cheers.